Welcome back to Toosh Speedstein Sports Corner. I'm Toosh Speedstein. This is my Sports Corner. This week, Bill Stillwell is in Little Pill Hill at the Fantasy Football Museum, so we'll check in with him in a little bit. We also have Coach Fluff's Power Rankings and League Transactions with Christopher Aguilera. But first, let's look at some highlights from the past couple weeks. See, here we have week 1. Taylor scored the rare sub-1 hundo. That is an ouchie. Chris Cloud leads the week in scoring. Shout out to Calvin Ridley. And in the same game, Mike loses despite scoring the second most points. That's just bad luck. Oof. Week 2, we got Corby and Chris Colby fell just short of the elusive 2 hundo. And in that game, Corby goes, he went into Monday Night Football trailing by about 40 points. But Kamara and Traquan Smith really pulled through. Also notable, Taylor won with 1 quarterback. Shout out to Aaron Jones. So that's what happened the past couple weeks. So let's go to Bill. Bill the Grill Stillwell, who just took a trip through the annals of fantasy history. Take it away, Bill.
Thank you, Tush. I'm here at the National Fantasy Football Museum. Join me as I go to take a look inside and talk to the museum curator, Fantasy Football, and learn about the history of this great sport. Well, here we are inside this beautiful museum. I have with me here Fantasy Football, whose father started this museum in the early 1930s in an attempt to combat the Great Depression. Why don't you tell us a little about fantasy football's history in America, Mr. Fantasy Football?
Yes, hello, Bill. It's true, this museum was founded almost 100 years ago, but fantasy football's history goes back much further than that. You see, before fantasy football was invented, men played fantasy football. You see, to occupy themselves, man invented a magical sport in which an oblong ball was transported across the field. They didn't get all the rules right, but it was close enough. They didn't have the technology yet for oblong balls or field transportation, but they could pretend they did. And that they did, using abacuses and stuff to simulate the game of what they called football. And then the team owners would draft the best imaginary players of this mythical game, inventing the sport of fantasy football. Players were rewarded points for diddlywinks and hooty-doos. When the British Imperial League switched to an auction style, the American team revolted, sparking the Revolutionary War. A similar conflict would later break out in America in regards to the implementation of a points per hooty-doo scoring format. And so the game was played until finally one day man began to make oblong balls and field transportation systems, and technology brought us to where we are today. In many ways, you could say the history of fantasy football is much like that of man himself.
Thank you, Mr. Football. Let's explore a little more and see what other artifacts we can find. Well, here's my favorite artifact in the museum. This is a tablet displaying the results of what some fantasy scientists believe to be the first fantasy draft ever recorded. You see, in the old days, before fantasy sports, or sports in general, the cave women used to draft the best hunters and whoever came back, they'd get all the points. Ogbog went first overall, Blurg went second, and third overall was actually Frank Gore. Fascinating. That's all the time we have here today. You can always visit the museum yourself if you want, and I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching. Back to you, Tush.
Thanks, Bill. looks like it's that time again. Power rankings are here and they are ready. Let's go to Coach Fluff for some more in-depth analysis.
Hello, it's Coach Fluff here with some great power rankings. Now things are starting to settle down and we can see roles taking shape and things might be a little different from post-draft. We didn't a lot of question marks being answered. So you'll see what I mean in the rankings. So let's get started from the bottom. Number 12. I'm sorry, one quarterback equals not many wins. No movement there. Number 11, Chris Patnode. This team has been gutted by the recent child labor revelations and the whole controversy resulting in that scandal. Sanctions have been put in place, and Chris's team is feeling that. He was number 10, moves down a spot. Number 10, Fitzy. This top-heavy team, I saw potential in it. Needs less quarterbacks and more depth. Trade some of those quarterbacks for some depth. Wink, wink. Was number 5, moves all the way down to 10. That's not good. Number 9, we have Tyler Cash Money, the commissioner. Just the quarterbacks, really. You just can't trust those quarterbacks. Daniel Jones and Justin Herbert, they make many shake. It's week 2. Maybe they haven't sunk yet. 1-1, yeah. They'll get there. Does move up a couple spots, though. I'd Cash at 11. Now he's 9. Number 8, Jason. This hurts. This breaks my heart. I put Jason in number 2 post-draft. And he's 2-0. So how do I move him down so much? Record right now, largely circumstantial for everybody, right? It's not that his team is, it's just things have shaken up. Mark Ingram's not looking that great. You know, Marlon Mack went down. All these things. Cream rises to the top. Doesn't have to be you doing something wrong, just other people surpassing. Number 7 is Adam. Adam, he moves up a bit. He's leading the league in points against. He's 0-2. That's not really fair. He's demolishing the league in points against, really. He was number 8, moves up a spot. Number 6, Chris Colby. Christian McCaffrey. He went down, didn't grab Mike Davis. So, got to move him down. Or rather, he was number 6 post-draft, so he stays the same. But he is leading the league in points, not for long. Number 5 is Eric. Eric, if I looked at this team post-draft, which I did, I ranked it 7, now it's 5, so it moves up 2. I think it's pretty gross, right? Melvin Gordon and Sammy Watkins and all these guys, they're looking pretty good. Honestly, this is a good team. I'm playing it, not me. Good team. Number 4, Chris Cloud. Chris Cloud, I had you at 4 post-draft, no movement. Led the league first week, second week, big dud, but I think it was a big dud for a lot of people. I think last week was just pretty crappy in general. I still believe in this team. Number 3, I'm going to put Colin in the act of humility. I have the lowest points against, far and away. Not doing great so far. I think this is underperforming also. It's early, things are still shaking out. Gotta believe. Number 2, Corby. Corby I had at 9 post-draft. Moved up 7 spots. But he's buoyed by that Monday Night Miracle. I believe in the underdog. I love that story, so here we go. Alvin Kamara isn't going crazy. Good team. Kittle. And that means number 1, Michael. This team is great. I love it. Michael Thomas comes back eventually. It's going to be crazy. You got not great running backs, right? And when Mostert comes back, great. But you got, Devontae. Ooh. You got DeAndre Swift, the heir to the Theo throne. Just great team. So that's the power rankings this week. It's week 2. You're 0-2. Doesn't mean anything. If you're 2-0, it doesn't mean anything. Don't be cocky. Good luck out there.
Way to go, Coach. You always know just how to rank them. Next, we have Christopher Aguilera for his special segment, Waves, Trades, and Automobiles. Christopher, the floor is yours.
Hello. Yes, hello. It's me, Christopher Aguilar, here for Waves, Trades, and Automobiles, where we talk about all the going-ons in the leagues. We'll start with the trades. Let's look at the trades from the past 2 weeks. We're in week 2 now. It's been pretty light. I think it's time for some league shakers because we got, since the last time, we had Deebo Samuel and Bridgewater to Taylor for Amari Cooper. So, kind of just piggybacking off the Godwin trade, really. Can't blame you. Benny Snell for Deshaun Jackson. That's Adam to Chris P. Adam just ended up dropping Benny Snell. So, just two. The first one, okay, that's got some magnitude, but let's get some league shakers going, huh? Now how about some ads and bids and stuff? Now that's where the meat is, because week 1 and 2, I think that's the craziest, right? Because besides injuries and stuff, everyone is figuring out all these roles, all these new guys, these new toys. Not a lot of that, honestly, actually, this week. This year in general. Tyler ended up picking T.J. Hawkinson for $1. That is a steal. To stack with Ezekiel Elliott, $56 or whatever, $58. That's a budgeter right there. Devontae Freeman with Barkley going down, got signed by the Giants. Jason, $40. Next highest bid was Mike, did $25. So a little overbid there, but probably start the rest of the season. So that, I think that's good. I should have bid on that. Mike got Jared McKinnon for $37. Next highest was Chris Colby with $15. So a bit of an overpay there. I understand you had Mostert though, so really want to secure that backfield. Good for you, I say. Also, Mike got Mike Davis for $48. Next highest was Fitzy with $31. Again, a little bit of an overpay, but if you really want it, okay. At least 3 weeks, Christian McCaffrey and AR. Looks good to me, man. Chris Cloud, Deion Lewis, $22. Inexplicable. I don't know. Next highest was Chris Banner with $8. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to look like. You got Deion Lewis and Davante Freeman and Wayne Gallman. Some uncontested bids. $13 for Keelan Cole to Adam. Keelan Cole. $9 Cole Beasley to Corby. It was uncontested. No need to spend $9, but I get it. If you got a chance to get Cole Beasley, then you go for it. All right. Everyone's favorite segment now, Free Agent of the Week. I think it's important to note, Adam Humphries is still available. Free Agent of the Week a couple weeks ago. Great player. He's been doing good. He's been doing fine. Just plug and play. Michael Pittman Jr. He's on the Colts. He's a wide receiver. Paris Campbell blew out his knee. Opens a lot of targets. There's some things about Michael Pittman Jr. could convince you to put your stock in this guy here. He received a master's degree in computer science at the age of 20. Huh? That's crazy. He was born with webbed feet. That means he can play football on land, air, and sea. He's like a duck. He can fly and swim and walk. So when he plays, the Dolphins, he's going to be real good. And the bird teams, too. He's multifaceted. He's not actually a junior. Michael Pittman Jr. His father's name is Steven. Back to you, Toosh.
Thanks, Chris. And thank you for watching. This has been Toosh Speedstein Sports Corner. I'm Toosh Speedstein, and this has been my Sports Corner. We'll see you again soon.